Democratic Congresswoman Stephanie Murphy of Florida is a member of the House Select Committee to investigate January 6th, and she joins me now. Congresswoman, let me just first start by asking you your reaction when you were asked to serve on this and what it means for someone who is in a swing district, is going to have a competitive race, I think, in the midterms most likely, and why you decided to say yes.
You know, I was honored when I was asked to serve on this committee because I believe that we absolutely have to protect our democracy. I took an oath of office, not only when I became a member of Congress, but also when I worked at the Department of Defense, to defend this country against threats, foreign and domestic. And clearly what happened on January 6th was a domestic threat to our democracy. They were trying to use violence to shape a political outcome. And I'm somebody who fled from a country, Vietnam, in the aftermath of the Vietnam War, where violence was used to secure political power. And so I am grateful to be in this country, and I believe that it is my obligation to help protect our democracy. And I'm not worried about politics, because what we have as our goal and objective for this select committee is far more important than any one person's political career. This is about a future of our country, our Constitution, and our democracy.
I want to play for you what the newest member of your committee, Adam Kinzinger, had to say in reaction to being called a Pelosi Republican by the House Minority Leader today. Take a listen.
Kevin McCarthy called you a Pelosi Republican. How do you respond to that?
Look, it's childish. We're doing big things right now. We're getting to the answers of the worst attack on the Capitol since the War of 1812.
Are you? Do you have the perspective that Kinzinger and Cheney will be good faith partners in collaboration in this effort on the sort of questions before the committee's portfolio?
I welcome Adam and Liz's participation in this select committee. They demonstrate that there are Republicans out there who are interested in seeking the truth and putting country over their party. And it's just a shame that Kevin McCarthy has resorted to name calling to try to disparage his own members and try to create a sideshow circus to detract from the very serious efforts that this committee is making towards getting to the truth about what led up to the events on January 6th, what happened on January 6th, and how we prevent that from ever happening again.
What is your expectation for tomorrow's first hearing?
I'm looking forward to the opportunity to lift up the voices of several law enforcement officers who were also victims on that day. They were on the front lines. I look forward to hearing them share those personal stories. But we picked just 4 law enforcement officers, but there were over 150 law enforcement officers who were hurt that day. Over 50 of them have provided the Senate with written testimony. This is just a sampling of what law enforcement officers encountered on that day. And it is so important that we allow the American people to see what they faced on the front lines of the attack on the Capitol.
You know, sometimes hearings, there are different ways that hearings can happen in the modern world of Capitol Hill. Some feel like essentially set pieces that are designed for public consumption. Some seem more focused on actual matters of policy or getting to the bottom of questions. Sometimes that correlates to how many cameras are in the room, how many people are paying attention. I wonder what you're like. How seriously an endeavor do you view this as the way to actually create a systematic and comprehensive record of what happened that day and what led up to it?
This is a deadly serious matter, and we will be approaching our job on the Select Committee with that level of solemnity that it deserves. The American people deserve answers. We are a democracy. At the heart of our democracy is that we have often hard-fought elections, sometimes close elections, but at the end of the day, we accept those results. You cannot allow political violence to determine political outcomes in this country. And so we need to fully understand what happened on January 6th. And we are going to see, I think, a mix of hearings hearings where I'm sure tomorrow will be an emotional hearing for some of these officers who are still suffering from the effects of the assault on their physical persons that day. They'll be sharing their stories, but we're also going to have hearings that get to the facts and lay out the details of who paid for this, what kind of organizational structure do they have, are they still planning on trying to overturn this election? These are all critically important questions that have to be answered, and we have to get to the truth.